Many moons ago, we checked out Need for Speed Mobile. This was promising to be the Need for Speed experience on mobile. Well, fast forward to today, and this is where we are with the game. This was one of the new updates they showed. You know what? You know what? Tornadoes in a racing game that screw you up and throw you. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe. Before we begin, a big shout out to Crown. This is one of Crown's channels, and to NFS Live. Is that how you say your name? Because essentially they managed to access the game and also share these things with us so we can look at them. There's actually quite a lot to look at, so let's get started. So for context, this is how they advertise their new Hot Pursuit mode. And I love how different the marketing is with these things. So they've gone with CGI, constantly talking. Everything else is dumbed down to the point where, and the animations are just so over the top and strange. Like it looks like some kind of kids action movie or something. Still using the M3. They did a better job than Criterion first did. They got a UK plate on it, like a UK classic, you know what I'm saying. But a very different advertising experience. That was advertising the Hot Pursuit mode, apparently. So this is demonstrating the new beta that we'll be able to access, which they've got some things that make smoke go everywhere. Again, this is all based on the Hot Pursuit mode, specifically demonstrating how the actual gameplay will work. So it seems like, from what I actually played on the channel, they're just adding a bunch of stuff to the game and seeing what sticks. I don't think there's another way to explain it. They are throwing everything you could possibly think of at this game. Here, for example, is an update specifically on the world overhaul, showing you the changes they've done to the world. This is actually quite interesting. So, as you may know, it uses the Need for Speed heat map. This has been pretty obvious, and they're showcasing, I think, previous updates, but they've done some changes to it to make it, well, more specific for the game. It's exactly what they did with Need for Speed Online. I don't know how many of you remember that, but they've made some changes. So they've added new districts, added new things to the map. Quite interesting, actually. But something I have learned since initially playing it, I thought it was just going to be specifically for the Asian market. Turns out that actually, no, we may actually get this game once they've done the initial testing in China and the like. Everything's just so crazy, just over the top. I don't understand what the heck's going on. Why is this is a challenge of some sort to hit as many cones as you possibly can? Like, who came up with this? Just looking at how Need for Speed Unbound is, we were all like, nah, bro, we're done. Wings coming out of my car when I do a jump, just they don't affect the gameplay at all. Wings? Hell no. However, Need for Speed Mobile. So this was actually brought to my attention by Blaze. Genuinely, I had no idea anything like this existed. And it's just the wildest thing I've ever seen. So while doing the pursuit mode, you will find these tornadoes around the map, and they will pick you up and fling you. And I would say this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, but I don't quite honestly think it is. It's just, I can't believe we're struggling to have, you know, Toyota in Need for Speed, considering the fact they're like, oh, no, we can't have police, at least we think that's why. But yeah, you can have tornadoes that fling you around. That's absolutely fine. Now, previously in Need for Speed Online, the game was not really licensed properly, and therefore they had a lot of cars that I feel like they shouldn't have had. However, I think they seem to be legit licensing the cars this time, which is interesting. Anyway, let's check out some more of the trailers and such they've got. So once again, more CGI trailers showing you, police chases, Hot Pursuit, but the cops are on the racetrack. We've got some, yep, whatever that was. Moving on. Here's a trailer for the Honky E7. Is that how you say it? So this very cool car is being added to Need for Speed Mobile. As you know, we have had an increase in Chinese EVs kind of coming everywhere. And so, of course, with the best place to put them in a Need for Speed game. That'll do. Look, no hate. If you're getting paid for this integration, hey, at least it doesn't look like an SUV. Oh, God, am I being... Anyway, you can see McLaren 720S. We've got some crazy brake to drift extremeness. Ultimately, that is probably one of the most off-putting things to me. I think it'd be pretty cool. As I said, a long time ago, I would have been super excited to see a fully fledged Need for Speed game, open world customization on mobile. And I don't... Does it say Heat Bay on the license? What the f is Heat Bay? What is this game? It's just the most confusing thing ever. Heat Bay? It'll be pretty curious to see how they advertise this game when it comes over to the rest of the world. Because this type of... I don't know if this... They put the wings on, by the way. I almost can't help but feel maybe they've done a bit too much. But maybe this is what they've got to do to introduce that market to this type of game. Maybe that's what's needed. It's a very different world. But ultimately, I wanted to give you an update as to what we can expect when it comes to this game. The customization, I'm gonna say, looks pretty on point. You can see that Focus RS doesn't look as standard. Once again, this is Crown's video. We actually did do some customization on it, and I was quite impressed, again, with how you can actually customize vehicles. When it usually comes to mobile, it's usually a lesser experience. We're not gonna get that crazy customization we know Need for Speed 4, or if we do, for example, Need for Speed No Limits was the newest game, and that came out like 2014, 2015, and it didn't have an open world. It was kind of A to B, do the race, and you're done, move on to the next race. And although that obviously was of its time, it was pretty limited. When we've got CarX Street potentially coming in the future, which is basically the Need for Speed on mobile we kind of want. Say that I haven't played it on mobile really at all. I'm waiting for the PC version of the game. I'm just shocked overall that this is possible, and the fact that they keep adding an insane amount of stuff. What is the budget for this game? Is it higher than like the current base Need for Speed games? That's what I'm feeling. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. Take me to Heat Bay. Just give me, you know, PC version, please. I genuinely, that would make me try it more so. They got this Viper. Hello? I want this. It would be interesting though to see in terms of the cars that aren't on normal. You can open the doors and stuff. I just ring it like, what? In terms of the cars that aren't in the actual normal Need for Speed games, I do wonder what's the customization going to be like. They're going to have to make their own customization, but again, it's mobile, so you don't have to go into intricate detail, but it looks like they have. That interior looks pretty damn good. Aston Martin V12 Vantage, the best Vantage, because it's got a V12 in it. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know the doors did that. Is that actually accurate? The Audi TT or TTRS or TTS, whatever, I don't care. Why is that not in Need for Speed? That's a curious question. A TT is an incredible car. Imagine that with engine swaps. That would be so sick. It's got some cars that I want. Can you imagine if they could share car models? I don't think that's going to be possible. Oh, for God's sake. What in the living Christ is this doing in a Need for Speed game? What the? It's a very strange car list overall, but not the worst. Anyway, I think we're still ways away from actually seeing come over to the rest of the world, but I think it's going to be possible for me to re-access the game again. I already got access. I literally signed up for WeChat and got approved by some lady on Fiverr so I can get a WeChat account. What is that graffiti? Good gravy. Obviously, one of the most telling things is it's a mobile game is there's still no traffic. But yeah, it's an online game, so maybe. Do you think TI? What the? How have they got that song? That's surely an expensive ass song. Now, this is the most recent update that they had to the game. Yeah. When I tell you they're doing absolutely everything with this game and seeing what sticks, I ain't lying. What in the Christ is going on here? GTA races are maybe no longer required, except, you know, users can build them. Maybe users can build these. I don't know, because I can't read the bloody language. But what the It says 2024. So at least I know it's something about this year. It might be a closed beta, but I can't read it. So I promise you, as soon as I can. In the description it says, you think 4 tests have bled us dry? That must not be enough. Openness, freedom, infinite possibilities. What on earth is so mysterious? We'll see you in the summer. So I think I've now got more questions than I have answered your questions, but let me know if you want to see me play any more of Need for Speed Mobile to see what the hell is going on. Until then, check out the previous ones.